When the Larsen ice shelf breaches away, American paleoclimatologist Jack Hall and his colleagues Frank and Jason dig for ice core samples for the NOAA. When Jack presents his study at a UN meeting in New Delhi, which suggests that climate change might trigger an ice age, U.S. Vice President Raymond Becker brushes off his worries. Jack becomes friends with Professor Terry Rapson, an oceanographer at the Headland Centre in Scotland, because of his belief in an impending climate change. Rapson determines Jack's claims are true when he notices a sharp drop in temperature at multiple buoys in the Atlantic Ocean. Based on Jack's study, the teams of Rapson and Jack, as well as NASA meteorologist Janet Tokata, create a forecast model. Becker rejects Jack's attempts to persuade him to think about evacuations in the northern states. In the northern hemisphere, a gigantic storm forms that is shaped like a tropical cyclone but has a very cold core. Above Canada, Europe, and Siberia, this breaks into three massive superstorms that draw frozen air from the upper troposphere into their centers, flash freezing anything that comes into contact with them that has a temperature below -150 degrees Fahrenheit, -101 degrees Celsius. Due to the storm's extreme intensity, Earth's surface and atmosphere will cool, resulting in the onset of a new ice age. A massive hailstorm strikes Tokyo, a tornado outbreak devastates Los Angeles, and 3 helicopters dispatched to save the British royal family from Balmoral Castle crash in Scotland after they enter the path of their superstorm. Sam, Jack's son, and his friends Brian and Laura compete in an intellectual decathlon in New York City, where they meet J.D. Strong winds and rain caused by the North American superstorm cause knee-deep water to flood Manhattan. The people of the city are left stranded as all forms of transit cease. Before Sam's group can escape to the New York Public Library due to a large storm surge that is flooding the city, Laura accidentally slices her leg between 2 taxis while trying to assist 2 French-speaking tourists who are in trouble. A functional payphone allows Sam to get in touch with Jack and his mother Lucy, a pediatrician. As the storm intensifies, Jack tells Sam to stay inside and be warm, and he swears to come to his aid. Rapson and his group are destroyed by the storm from Europe. After the authorities eventually come to their aid, Lucy stays behind to tend to the hospital's bedridden patients. President Blake orders the evacuation of the southern states into Mexico at Jack's suggestion, and the government issues a warning to the northern states to find refuge and remain warm. Frank, Jason, and Jack travel to New York. In Pennsylvania, Frank tumbles through a snow-covered mall skylight and gives himself up by severing his rope in order to keep his buddies from going in with him. Despite Sam's cautions, the majority of the survivors in the library choose to go south once the floodwaters freeze. Becker finds out in Mexico that Blake's motorcade was destroyed in the superstorm. After Laura's injury causes sepsis, Sam, Brian, and J.D. search for supplies and penicillin on an abandoned Russian cargo ship that floated into the city before the water froze. They discover them, but they also come upon a pack of wolves that escaped from the Central Park Zoo. While the eye of the North American superstorm passes over and freezes Manhattan, the boys manage to repel the wolves and return to the library with what they need. An abandoned restaurant serves as a haven for Jack and Jason. The superstorms pass a few days later. Jack and Jason arrive at the library and discover Sam's group still alive after discovering individuals outside, including those from the library who attempted to flee, frozen to death. Jack communicates with U.S. forces in Mexico via radio. Becker apologizes on the Weather Channel for his stupidity in his first speech as the new president from the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. He also orders helicopters to rescue survivors, including Jack and Sam's group, in the northern states. Astronauts on board the International Space Station marvel at how the Earth's surface has changed, with ice sheets now covering a large portion of the northern hemisphere, and say that they have never seen the air so pristine.